Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Flight Simulator X Steam Edition with the FS Historian. Today we are featuring the Douglas C-47 Skytrain from Just Flight. Now I'm aware this is a payware model and there's a very decent freeware model for Flight Simulator X and P3D by Manfred Jan and the other great members over at Sim Outhouse. I've started this video with the engines off so that I can go through a little bit of history with the aircraft. The DC-3 and C-47 were both developed around the late 30s to early 40s, the DC-3 being derived from the DC-2 airliner of the mid-1930s. The DC-2 was very successful, and the Douglas company wanted to capitalize on that, and so they redesigned parts of the aircraft. They re-engined the aircraft with the best engines of the time, the Wright Cyclone engines, which are the 1,820 inches of size in cubic inches. And in around late 1941, right around the time of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, the Douglas company received a contract from the military for a new cargo aircraft based on the DC-3. This aircraft would become known as the C-47 Skytrain. Now, the C-47 and the DC-3 have two main differences. The first difference is that the DC-3 is powered by the Wright Cyclone engines, which are 1,820 cubic inches. The C-47 Skytrain are powered by the Pratt & Whitney R-1830 engines, which are 1,830 cubic inches. The other main difference is the DC-3 had a passenger door, single man-wide door that folded downward and had some stairs built into the side of them. It was usually mounted on the right side of the aircraft, but could be mounted on the left at the customer's discretion, whether or not he wanted it left or right. Now, the C-47, on the other hand, was usually given a double cargo door. You can see on this model, this is a paratrooper model, and so only one door is attached, the other having been taken off to make it easier for paratroopers to jump out of the aircraft. You'll notice these little holes that are in the windows, and those are actually gun ports, so that if they were under fire at low altitude, the paratroopers could stick their guns out the window. However, this was not widely practiced, as you can see, the gun ports were mounted mostly over the wings, and so you can imagine a lot of holes in the wings. One of the big deals about the structure of this aircraft was that the DC-3 and C-47 did not have wing spars. The wing was held on by about 300 or so bolts that ran above and below the wing, just outboard of the engine. If you can see the arrow on the screen, I'm pointing out where that is. The shape of the wings allowed for maneuverability that a lot of other cargo aircraft did not have at the time. And so this aircraft could perform certain maneuvers that would certainly rustle other cargo pilots' jimmies, if you know what I mean. I believe the most prominent maneuver known to be used by C-47 pilots was the Dutch roll. Alright, let's get inside this aircraft and see if we can get her started up and take her for a flight around Fort Worth. First thing we're going to do is go over here. Battery master is on. We're going to go above the engine starts, generator's on. Let's bring the props up on 1 and the mixture up on 1. Ignition master is on. Engine start. Clear left. And engine 1 is running. I'm going to open up the cowl flaps on both engines real quick. And now we will start engine 2. Clear right. Gonna let the engines run for a little while so that the mixtures and everything get good and ready to fly. I'm gonna turn off my microphone for a bit. Going to begin the taxi procedures to runway 344, straight out departure. Now cleared for takeoff. I'm gonna line her up on the runway and let her go. Tails up off the ground and lift off. Raise the gear and flaps. Gear is up and locked. Now passing over I-820. Making a right-hand turn to head east over Northeast Fort Worth. Directly ahead, you can see Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, one of the largest airports in Texas. Roughly 10 miles north, to the left, you can see Alliance Airport, another large international airport. And somewhere over on the right-hand side of the aircraft is Fort Worth Sphinx. Not quite an international airport, but close enough for some aircraft. It lands business jets and general aviation mainly, but every once in a while the military does land there. Normally they'll land at the Naval Air Station or Alliance. Occasionally they will land at Meacham Airport. I have to add that the Saginaw Airport does no longer exist, and so I don't normally use it in the flight simulator. Just as when I'm taxiing on the ground at Meacham, I don't stop when I'm taxiing over the crosswind runway because that crosswind runway was closed several years ago. Now I'm going to make my turn to the south and contact the Meacham Airport Tower for clearance to land. Going to drop throttle back about half. And put the flaps down 1 notch. Watch the altitude and airspeed drop. Once I get past the Fort Worth skyline, which you'll see on the upper left part of the screen, I'm going to make my turn to 270 and begin the approach into Meacham. Coming up on the turn onto heading 270. Dropping the throttle back all the way. Gonna coast her in for a little while. Okay, we're at 273 and just over 110 knots. Dropping below 5,000 feet. Pardon me. Airspeed is 123 knots. Altitude around 4,000 feet. Heading to 73. Got a slight breeze coming out of 356.
Airport information, Delta 17071, wind calm. Visibility greater than
Gonna bring the throttle up just a tad. Dropping the flaps a little more. Altitude 3,900 feet and dropping. Gonna put the throttle back at 0. Dropping the gear now. We're at 3,200 feet and dropping 95 knots. And we are now clear to land runway 34 at Meacham International. "94 knots, 2,400 feet. Knots. Coming down to 1,800 feet. "95 knots, 1,500 feet. 90 knots. 1,400 feet. "95 knots, 1,200 feet. "80 knots, 950 feet. 70 knots, 80 knots. Coming down on the runway now. "80 knots. Touchdown on runway 34. Maintaining 60 knots and braking now. Will do, tower. And we're just gonna go down towards the end of the runway and Parker, where the real-life Vintage Fly Museum would be located. we are. And just shut this airplane off.
Viper 88 Sierra, turn next taxiway.
Drop the mixture.
Viper 88 Sierra, contact ground on 121.9er. 121.9er.
Ignition master off.
Meacham Tower, H November 45163, push 9er miles south inbound, visual, runway 35, approach.
And there we have it.
Meacham Tower, fly straight in.